I usually don't trade a lot, but if the market is going sideways as it is right now, I like to do it here and there. And so far, I've had pretty good success. What's up? My name is Caroline, and this is Wealth in Progress, where you'll learn how to make passive income with cryptocurrencies. In this video, I'm sharing my past few ADA trades with you. Now, I'm using a couple of basic trading indicators as well as some more advanced trading signals. I'm currently working on setting up a membership site where I'll share those signals and strategies with you on a regular basis. If this is something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe to my newsletter, which is the first link in the description down below, so you'll be the first to be notified when this membership goes live. Alright, now let's look at my past few trades. I'm mainly trading ADA because somehow it's just more predictable to me than other coins. I've tried other coins as well, but I've never been as successful as with ADA. Now, keep in mind I'm only trading with a very small part of my portfolio, and trading in general is risky, and this is no financial advice, so always be careful. So I've been doing my trades on KuCoin for no particular reason. I think I just had about $1,000 on there, so I thought, okay, I'll just use that to try it out. And I'm basically using it in combination with Binance because I find the indicators are displayed more clearly on Binance. You could also use TradingView, whatever works best for you. So here are my last few trades and the ones that I want to show you. So these are the ones where I started trading Cardano with this specific amount. And you can see I started on June 22nd. So this somehow doesn't display correctly, so this should be ADA. So it's about 1,200 ADA that I bought for a little over 1,200 USDT. So that's basically US dollar. And I bought it at $1.12. And then those two got cancelled because I actually wanted to buy some more, but then the price unfortunately rose too quickly, so I missed those. And so I just sticked with this amount. So as you can see, I think this is the correct amount, 1,202 ADA, and I basically just started with this amount and traded it up and down. Now you can see further up, I sold it later at $1.43 USDT, so that's basically dollar. So I sold my 1,200 ADA, and then what you can see here, I'm not trading a huge difference, so I'm always being pretty careful, pretty cautious. And so here I just traded a 4-cent difference, and I just thought, okay, I'll get about 40 ADA more. That's totally fine for me. So I bought again at $1.39, and I got 1,240 ADA. Then it went up again, and I sold it again at $1.44 more or less, and bought back in at $1.39 because it worked so well. At this point, my holdings went up to 1,291 ADA, and then it basically went down. But so this is where the advanced signals come in. I can't show you them in here because this is on a separate tool. But I'll show you in a minute in the indicators in the charts, and then you see a bit better. I usually wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for the advanced signals, and that's what I'll be sharing with you in the membership side. So be sure to look out for that. So I usually wouldn't have done that because it wasn't, just looking at the indicators, it wouldn't have shown to me that it would be a good place to sell. But the advanced signals showed me that a vast majority, or that a huge amount of Bitcoin have been put on exchanges, and that usually means that people or large investors want to sell or short. And that usually means the price goes down. And that's pretty much what happened. And so I placed my buy order at $1.03, and that's where it got executed. And now it's at, you can see it up here, at $1.60. So I am pretty happy with my trade so far, and my 1,200 ADA is now, I've made it into 1,479 ADA. So I keep trading that up and down, even with those small differences that can add up quite a bit. And the bigger the amount, the bigger the gains that I get with the trades. Now let's look at all of those trades in detail. Okay, we start with the first one that was on June 22nd. So this is what the chart looks like that I'm looking at on Binance. So I'm basically doing my analysis on Binance and then I'm executing it on KuCoin. But it would definitely be easier to just do it on Binance. I don't know. I just started with it that way. Anyway, so I've mentioned that in another video. I wanted to buy down here, but I realized it a little too late, and so it already shot up. And so I think I a little earlier I bought at 112. So that must have been somewhere around here. And then it went down and I wanted to buy again, and that's what I showed you earlier. These are the canceled trades because I was too late and it already shot back up, so I couldn't buy there. So that's my first trade where I bought at $1.12. Now, what I'm looking at here is a couple of things. And keep in mind, you could look at a ton more indicators. This is just what has worked for me. So what I'm looking at is what I really like are the Bollinger Bands. So these are those bands that on the lower part and on the upper part. And I think what they represent is a range above and below a moving average. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but it's working well for me. So anyway, it shows you a range, and what you can basically look at is if it's on the lower range, it usually at some point it will go up. So that's usually it will trend along the lower range for a little bit, and then at some point it will go up and it will look for the other end of the spectrum again. And so what I've seen here, so it was here, I've seen, okay, it's been on the lower side of the Bollinger Band for quite a bit. I assume that it's going to go up very soon again. And so it dipped a bit further and then it went up again. And you can see it went to the upper side of the range again. So actually the lower part, the lower band is that light blue and the upper band is that purple. What I'm also looking at is the MACD, and you can see here, so this is 0 basically, and if it's below 0, it usually means it's oversold, and again that's another indicator telling you that it will go up at some point in the pretty near future again. And the opposite is true. If it's on the top here, that means, or you can see it better up here, so if it's pretty high, it means it's overbought, and that means it will go down most likely at some point again. So this is what I'm looking at in here. Again, it's very simple. You could do a whole more sophisticated analysis, but this is what has worked for me. And if it works that simple, I'm not going to make it more complicated. Okay, all right. So that was my first trade. Okay, the second one was where I sold, and that was on July 3rd. Let's look at that. Okay, so it must have been up here. Now here you can see the opposite of what I've just explained. So when I'm looking for a place to sell, I'm usually, so most of the time I'm really just looking at the Bollinger Bands. Oh, and by the way, I'm looking at the charts on the hourly, I'm looking at the charts on the hourly frame, and so when I'm trading, I'm always doing that. I might also look at the daily chart, but to get a better picture of what's happening right now in the short term, I prefer the hourly chart. So what I've seen here is that this candle has pretty much shot up through the upper band of the Bollinger Band, and when that happens, it's pretty rare, especially in a market that trends sideways. In a bull market it looks different, but in a market that trends sideways as it is right now, it's pretty rare that a candle like that is the start of a upwards movement. So what usually happens is that it will go down into the Bollinger Band again, and that's why I decided to sell here. And if we continue on, you can see it, so it went further up, but what it did first is it went back down, and that's exactly what I traded. So I sold up here, and then I bought back at 139, so it must have been somewhere around here. Let's look at that. I bought back at $1.39, so that was even the same day. Right, so that was even the same day, so it must have been... So it must have been one of those candles. So I made use of that again, and then because it shot up again and I had the exact same thought, I did the exact same thing. So I think I sold a bit earlier. I must have sold somewhere here maybe. Yeah, here somewhere at one of those green candles. So again at 144. So you can see here again, so that was the next day, July 4th, I sold at $1.44, and then the exact same thing I bought back at $1.39. So that was also the same day, so just a bit later. So yeah, it must have been either one of those lower candles. Yeah, probably one of those lower candles that just hit it, because then it actually went lower, but it executed it on the same day. Okay, so these have been my past trades, and then I didn't really have the time. So because obviously you always have to look at the charts on a regular basis, you have to look at exit and entry points if you're trading, and I didn't have the time after that, so I didn't trade for 2 weeks. But then we got those signals, and that was on July 17th. Yeah, it must have been one of those candles. So as you can see here, that's in the middle of a Bollinger Band and it's trading downwards. So this wouldn't be a place where I would sell normally. But because we got those signals, I decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna sell here because I want to be safe, and also want to try if this really works as I imagine. And as you can see, it went upwards for a bit, but then it went really low, and it actually went right to where I put my buy order. So I put my buy order at $1.03 and it went to $1.02. So that was pretty awesome. I'm almost impressed myself how well it worked out, because also after that you can see it's been going up again. So I didn't even look at that point. I just put my buy order based on previous supports, and I just put it there, and it would have been a good place to buy in any case, just looking at the Bollinger Bands. So yeah, so that sums up my last trade where I bought again at $1.03. So far I'm very pleased with my trading strategy. It's very simple, but it works out very well. Again, if you'd like to get some more analysis or see more of my trades and also get those signals that are really, really valuable, because that was one of the best trades. I could have sold earlier, that's true, but just that trade, it was one of the biggest range that I made, so it was a pretty good trade. So if you want to see more of that, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter to be the first to be notified when the membership comes out. So what about you guys? Are you trading as well? And if so, what are your favorite indicators or signs? What do you look at in general? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!